now it's good. If I go live now, okay, so YouTube should be working now. And I can check and refresh. Let's see if the chat is working. Okay, I think I got a wrong chat thing. So I'm gonna go to live stream and I am going to pop out the chat and I'm going to add it to the Twitch chat. Yeah, we're good. So if you're hanging out, just say hello, hello, hello. Um, so I wanted to work on the little bug. Not really little. It was kind of like an interesting bug. So I'm gonna share my screen and also show you what I mean. I'm gonna close some things to make sure we're good. Okay, good. So we're gonna go GitHub branch stack. So I'm gonna come here and share screen, entire screen. This one. I really can't wait to have like the multiple builder thing going. So if we look at this issue, so I think I brought the issue over to Twitter as well. So it's something I've noticed for a while, but it's one of those one-off, I'm gonna figure it out as I go things. So until this user who is actually having this in production is sort of like the delivery service they're building with the borrow stack. And he noticed this that so mine, I was thinking like, maybe it's because so mine happens when I'm on CZ, so which is the browser for developer where I used to like build just test my web software. So when I share multiple screens, so if I'm logged in and I try to make a login request, it's going to crash the server very annoyingly, really. So it's always says sending 500 server, but I cannot set headers after they're sent to the client. And this was really perplexing. I even had like so it was reported what was this, 2 weeks ago, right? Like I tried figuring it out, but couldn't really grasp what was going on because it feels like everything was good. It was like a a weird edge case. Um, let me see who is here. Hey Lenny. Yeah, it's on, man. Um, welcome. So as I was saying, it was a weird edge case, right? And it was those moments where you start doubting your engineering skills. Like, you know what? I think I'm not qualified to be building my own thing. I'm messing up big time here. That was just my thought. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to ask like Mike, maybe like he has faced something like this. But yesterday, because the way my mind work is, if I have a problem, even though it's not front or center, I just let my mind feast on it behind the scene. So my mind have been feasting on it, like everything I was even when I went for like the indie hackers meetup last week, I was still feasting on it. So yesterday during the TKYT session with Jorge from 37 Signals, unrelated, right? Just unrelated. We're talking about Rails and Turbo. I had an epiphany, but it wasn't an exact solution to the problem, really. It was just like a total approach, which is more sales like to sending back initial responses. So today, um, this is how you send an initial response. So so the initial sales adapter has this initial middleware. And in this initial middleware, this is where I define the render function. So you could do sales.initial.render. And here you could, all the business logic and also the application. My God told me that this is probably the problem because we're defining this what I would call a terminating function because it's what should happen at the end of a request. Inside the middleware, I also have like the next handler. And you could see we're calling next a couple of times. We'll call So okay, I think this was when I was trying to fix it, and but this is terminating. This is also terminating, right? What we're also going to call next. Yeah. So anytime this middleware gets fired, these functions will also get triggered. So it felt like a hack. Right? It felt like a hack. But at the time I didn't know better. So I just have to go with it. You know what? This is I'll just figure it out. So yesterday I tried something I've tried before. So before, there's something I love about sales, which is throwing and returning. So there's something I love about sales, which is throwing and returning responses. I'm gonna stop the share for a minute. Um, wait, where was I? Okay. So yeah, which is like screen share again. The, probably should just do it here. I don't know. Browser stupid. So returning and throwing responses, right? In sales. So this part is something I really enjoy when I work with sales, right? In the sense that you can return exits because sales uses machine and there's this machine as action which lets you, so your actions too is actually powered by something called machine as action, which lets you return responses and also your inputs or params, right? So I wanted to have an initial response type that when you return like an object that has the page and props, we just know what to do with it. Okay. So I'll probably share this article. Yeah. Where is the thing? Yeah, share this article. Yeah, look at this. I think it has to tweak my middleware to avoid the error. Oh yeah. So you were trying to like do like a workaround, but so back to this. So this is the issue I created again, which is use custom responses and exit because in sales we have res custom responses. We have custom responses. Okay. Sales. I didn't get the video, yada yada yada. So yeah. So where you could create a response in API slash responses slash whatever, and then in your exits, you could say response type is match the name of that thing. That's what I really wanted, like right from the beginning. But the first time I attempted it, it failed like big time. But I came back to it after yesterday, and I like so this was the API. So I like starting from the API and then I work my way back. So I went to Ridiculous, which is like the project I just tinker on. And then I just did this. I was like, how can we implement inertia in a way that when we do this, it knows to do the entire business logic that is inside of render. And that will also deprecate sales initial location and sales initial render because if we could do for the initial response, we will also do initial redirect. Because the thing about the initial redirect is just like a normal redirect, but with just some like certain headers and stuff. So if I could make both of those method responses and I could now imbibe the way we know how to work in sales into everything, that would be good. And a good side effect, it also solves the problem of the sent header things because the location and renders functions are no longer going to be in the they're no longer going to be in the middleware. So the middleware is mostly just going to share props and also share errors and flash messages. Just going to be very lightweight, and I love it. And that makes sense because keeping the middleware lightweight means that faster requests and response cycle because this is only going to be called on demand. Beautiful. So, and the thing is on upgrade. So one thing I didn't like about this, but I feel like at a certain point it's okay because there are times where I have so there are certain codes that is in user land in sales project that you don't have to touch, they're just there. So when you upgrade to 2.0, 0.2.0, which I'm going to release in a couple of minutes, all you have to do is to get the initial response and the initial redirect responses, put it in API/responses. In the future, I'm probably going to have like a sales generator. So anyone could just run sales generate response initial, then it will just get the those files or just the initial file and put it in API/responses. This way we could evolve them without you copying and pasting. Let me know what you think about that. I think it's okay because once it gets to 1.0, those because it will be pretty standard, those two responses. All right. So with that, I made the pull request. This one, so use responses and exit. So if you look, this is like 102 lines of code removed and only 18 lines added. Like I said, the middleware is just going to be lightweight. So if we look at the things, and I move a couple of things around. For this one, I let you set the root view. So maybe you want to change the name of your root view for something to something else. Right now, it's default to app, which is it's something you won't have to change. But in case there's a need, you could do that in your initial config file. Just set it to whatever. And I also because these shared props and shared view data are no longer going to be accessible by the and location function because we don't have them anymore. I have to there's now a shared props property and shared view data, which is mostly internal. I don't think you would ever use it, but it's just for when there's a request and there's a response, you could get the shared data like logged in users info, so you could also share it with a prop that's also going to share with the page. But the key thing is notice in the initial middleware, there's a lot of removal of code. I just remove all this code and all this jazz, and the only thing the initial to the function that returns the middleware takes is just the hook. And the reason is so that we could do hook the share, hook the flash, blah blah blah. But there's no more render, no more location because it's also going to be in responses. So this is going to be very, very lightweight. Let me see if there are any questions or discussion. I like this new process you thought of. I went through discussion against suppressive. Yes, it's Glenny. A sales generator would definitely be nice. And I also remove a couple of things that we don't really need. Like this get root view, we just return the root view. So this was like me just trying to get the same feature parity from the adapters I studied from different framework, but we don't really need this because you could get the root view by doing sales.config.inertia the root view, right? And you don't need to set the root view, you just have to set it in your config file. What else did I move? Get view data. Yeah, you don't need all this either because you could just do sales.config.inertia shared view data. Right? But you don't how many times do you do this? Okay. All right. So with all that, of course, what else did I remove? And all this gone. Then if you check the index, just what I mentioned, where we set up inertia, you could just see that it's just gonna take in the sales, the hook. Yeah, it's just gonna take in the hook. Where is the thing? Sales around the buyer, all of this. Yeah, just gonna take in the hook and not all these other things. We don't need it. So it's very lightweight. And so how does it look in an app? So let me show you Ridiculous, which is the project it's my playground. It's fun fact, it's gotten from Harry Potter. I'm a Potterhead. Okay, oh, if you guys could have some new things. I don't know what that is. Okay, not to say it. So this is how it looks today. And I really like this because it looks like sales. The other one, it didn't feel like sales to me. And I just had to put up with it because I didn't know better. Because like I said, if you know better, you code better. So yesterday it hit me, and this is it. So we have response type inertia. So you just have to your success is just define response type inertia. I also think in the future in that same generator, we just do like sales generate page. If you generate a page and you give it like let's say sales generate page or sales generate action, for example, or do user slash view users, maybe dash dash inertia. I don't know if we're going to do flags, but such a way that you don't have to write this code, and even this one is not going to be generated for you. Then you could pass in props if you want. All right. And this is it. It works today. Let me increase the things. It works, and the responses are here. Responses, you never have to touch this. So you already have the bad request response when I made the like lets you do validation errors and also or any kind of error. But now you have inertia and inertial redirect. So the times where you need to do sales initial relocation, you just have to say response type of inertial redirect, then you return a URL to redirect to, whether it's a local URL or it's an external URL. You're going to run the logic because the business logic is so simple and it just this. But of course, the inertial JS response is really involved, right? I have to give it that. But I feel like this is the code, like you wouldn't have to touch it, and I can evolve it over time. Then the generator, you could just do sales. So there's a new release and it we touch the responses. Just have to run the sales generate response inertia and initial redirect. So yeah, and today you could have access to the file. So what we're going to do now is to publish this. Yes. Yes. I'm really sad we cannot highlight messages on Riverside yet, but I'm sure they're working on it. So yes, Lenny says, Kelvin just spit out my plans. I love this. Yeah, I do because this is like a solo project, and I also use it, okay, because Hackfish will be launching in like March 14. And with this bug in there, that means people are just gonna get very horrible experiences. I'm so glad I'm able to fix it because this move the stack to be very much more stable. I feel like there are no edge cases. At this point, it is robust. Maybe a couple of changes will come, then we'll cut 1.x, and it's just gonna be really, really stable. So I'm really, really excited. Like I slept 4 a.m. in the morning. I was just trying to tinker, but I ended up like working so long. So what we're gonna do, let's check Basecamp. So we're gonna update code in MeloView because now we need to update the code in MeloView to have the responses, right? And also watching me do this would also show you the change you have to do. I'm gonna write a release blog post about it pretty soon. So the first things first, we probably merge PR. I haven't merged it yet. Uh, and I think here's the bad boy. Okay, so we're gonna come here. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna squash and merge. Yeah, so it resolves those two. Oh, yeah, sometimes the auto close works, but other times it doesn't. So I'm just gonna go close those myself. And so now I would go back to a borrowing stack. And so I could now do git flow feature finish, use responses and exits. Good. So the next thing now is I'm gonna create a new issue. So the issue will be um then maybe just put this close related issues so that I don't forget that. It's Melo view to use responses and exits. And I think then you need to like make a pull request to like update this so that we add because the syntax is like an hyphen before the brackets, so it works. Um, I don't probably don't need all this. Just gonna do that. Okay. So I've done a lot of you to use responses and exit. So this is gonna be fun. So let's do it. So we could do git flow, feature start, updates, melo view. Okay, hide. Oh, okay. Let me see if there are any questions. Keeping in sync with chat will be session. Yes, that is true. That is true. And I love, of course, you all know I like simplicity. So it's quite simple, quite stable, and it sells. That's one thing I really love. It sales. It is sales. It feels like sales. It feels like the the other thing was just a hack. So what I'm gonna do, where is it? Yeah, so we're gonna come to template. So sometimes I just create this. Gonna remove those table files, and here I'm gonna go to menu view. Menu view. Let's focus. Okay, CD templates, menu view. Okay, if I could type today, then yeah, so we could focus on the things. So this is going to be the update. So first things first, I'm going to go to ridiculous, and because this was where I played around with it, I'm going to copy the responses. I go back to menu view and response. I'm just going to drop the bad boy in there. And also menu view. Okay, menu view is good. The bad request works because I've tested it before. And now, so here I'm going to feed menu view, add initial redirect responses. Okay, so the next thing is to look for everywhere, grep everywhere we have initial.render. Okay, not that much of a place. Yeah, this is where you just want to do code gen, but that would be very weird. I don't think I have it in me to write the logic for the code gen, but this will be fun to do. So the first things first, remember your here is going to be response type initial, right? And here, what we're going to just do now is just return an object, like a good old plain object that has a page and a props. And of course, the extra bracket. So this is just going to be what you're returning. Feels like sales. Like the way you return. So it looks like you're returning JSON, but because you're doing response type inertia, the inertia knows how to do the things, the headers, to make inertial clients understand it. Bespoke. I love it. And so next we're going to do forget password. Same thing. Response type, inertia. And of course, so I was thinking of doing this, but when you don't have a page like the prop, but I feel like it feels too magic because if someone, a teammate sees this, it's like, "Whoa, why are you returning a string?" But so I guess so instead of making it brave, I just I opted for understanding and brevity for this particular logic. So let me know what you think so that it's always going to be an object so that it's clear that, okay, you're returning a page which maps to like a component in assets shares pages. So yeah, so that's what I opted for instead of like for cases where just return a string. So clarity is very, very important. Response type, inertia, and we are going to do page, same thing here. Again, let me see, chat. Session and updating. Yes, that is it. Session and updating sales destination render. Yeah, I did it for Hackfish yesterday or this morning. It was fun. So this is like the I think hopefully since we're still in minor and just patches, I could break syntax like this. Well, I'm hoping this is the only time I have to do this major breaking. Or is it though? I don't know. Time will tell. But I feel like in terms of initial responses, I think we've got it. This makes sense. This is chef's kiss, and I like it. Wait, did I do the things? Okay, I did the things. And here we're gonna do express type inertial, and we're just gonna do this. I think it's less keystroke. Is it more or less keystroke? What do you think, guys? Not people. Props, dude. Props. Okay, we're almost done. And here gonna do response type. So how do you all think like what do you think about the old simulate latency thing that you have in actions that we probably have didn't know about until I mentioned it? Was it yesterday? It's something that blew my mind when I found out like okay, this was also thought about by the sales team. I was like, "Oh, this is really good," because most times when you work on local, you sort of forget yourself because out of sight, out of mind. You know, it's very fast. You click a button and you move very fast. But when you deploy, it's the reality is not so. So you don't handle loading states. But if you simulate latency in sales, because sales rock, you know, you could know like, okay, when there's latency, this is how my UI behave, and you could know to handle that. And the cool thing about simulated latency, it's only you can leave it in your code and deploy it. It only affects in development because, of course, sales teams are cool. And page, we do this. So we're gonna do props. We are almost done. Okay, two more to go. So here you see, I did not even have. So the cool thing yesterday when I had to read the machine as action implementation, sales always have a success exit, even though you don't specify success and error by default. So even though you forget, because sales is trying to like protect you from yourself, so it's always going to be defined and it's going to smartly detect what to send back. It just sales is just amazing, man. Okay, finally profile. Then response type, sorry, not redirect initial. So I didn't use okay. I'm gonna look for where I did initial to location too, and also update that one too, because those functions no longer exist. Page. Good. So yeah, now I could do a feed replace post to initial dot render with custom response and exit with initial custom response and exits. It's more keystroke. Is it really? Let me see. So if you had to do sales dot inertia dot render, then pass in the objects and the props. So just having an object here, and remember when we do the generator, you don't have to type this. So this feels less to me. Let's compare. Shadows render profile. So if we do keystroke, 30. This is 30 keystrokes, right? Compared to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think it's less. The math says it's less, I guess. The math says it's less. Yeah. So yeah, I think we're good on that one. So let's see location. Oh, no. I think I only did it once. Location. Oh yes, it's just once. So log out. This is because logout was a what request was logout? I had to do this. And so here will now be response type. initial redirect, and we just have to return this beauty of it all. This That's it. Fit place dot initial dot location with initial redirect custom response. Oh, I think I missed something. I'm gonna undo the last commit and so that we scope this pro. Okay, what did I do? Uh, okay, is it too long? Pineapple. Just go. Found a problem. Okay, full stop. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Commit length. I'm sorry. Okay. Don't be mad at me. Yeah. Yes. This. Well, I don't know. I feel like it's okay. It's maybe more. I don't know if it's really more keystroke really because I just feel like having to dot into sales or initial render, and of course, it's also causing that annoying bug. But you're right, like having to just return an object for me feels like way less code. And when you can generate the way you do still generate action, when you can generate your actions, you don't have to do response type inertia. Yeah, so yeah. Trade-offs. Yeah, so I use location for logout. Yeah, I think I don't know the method I use for that one. Let's see, logout. There must be a reason why I had to do that, but right now, okay, yes, I use delete. I use delete for it, and that's why I had to do that. So here, so we are good here. So now I could do git push. Gonna push it to prod. Oh, wait, and so that change and develop view. So let me put this on Basecamp. Release sales initial 2.2. Okay, we're gonna do that. And also update my stack.